Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to Black Library Reviews part 44, Kasrkin, written by Edoardo Albert and narrated by David Seddon. I love this book. This is back to the roots. This is not only back to the roots in case of, oh yeah, we're going back to Rogue Trader. No, we're going to the meme. And the thing meme culture destroyed. The thing 40k was inspired by. Lawrence of Arabia. No, I'm of course kidding a little bit. It's Dune because we have a Kasrkin squad with a commissar and they are on a mission on a desert planet. And on this planet there is one resource. And the indigenous people have striking blue eyes. So yes, this is Dune in 40k, but better. So yeah, we have the situation. Astra Militarum general, and yes, in this novel, the Astra Militarum is also called the Imperial Guard, so every Guard fan is also satisfied, hopefully, with this. And so this general was hunted down by Xenos, the Blueies, the Tau, and yeah, well, he got caught up in a sandstorm because this was the only way to survive, even though everyone said, don't go into the sandstorms. The probability that you will die is very high. But yeah, so we have this lost general and our Kasrkin squad has the duty to, well, go and collect him or either confirm his death or bring back the rest of his pieces. Or, of course, the other case is maybe he's a defector, just check if he is, if he's not, and then act accordingly. And for this mission, they have to be stealthy, because they don't want the Tau to know that they're looking for someone. So instead of sentinels or other motorized vehicles, they get basically Teslas. So electric cars, ATVs, and the Venators, the I forgot subclass of the Taurus, maybe? I forgot right now, I'm sorry. And so they're having a little bit of fun with their vehicles because they can drive without care in the world. No one's going to tell them drive slowly or anything else because it's a desert planet. There is nothing there. And the first fighting scene is basically 3 hours into the story, which I really, really love. The first third of the story is basically we have to survive this freaking desert. So be mindful of water, be mindful of the heat, be mindful of the sand. So basically the nightmare of Anakin Skywalker. And I love this story because at first this is, oh yes, the commissar, he's not one of us, he's not a Kasrkin. He's the son of the Lord General, so this is only through nepotism that he has his rank as commissar. And so they're mixing up a little bit of the commissar origin story with, oh yes, those were orphans. They were just trained to be this, which I really enjoyed because this got them to talk a little bit more about the inner workings of the Imperium and how things are being run. Over the course of the story, they get to acknowledge the commissar as one of their own, which I really enjoyed. This was a little bit heartwarming, even though those are ruthless killers, so both sides, and really talking about the Imperium in itself. They're critiquing why they are doing things, why they are fighting, and how the Imperium, this is not in the first third of the story, this is also a little bit later. This gets caught up many times in the story, how the Imperium is ruled by fear, that the majority of planets is basically living in peace. Our day-to-day lives, we have stand up, drink your coffee, go to work, come home, eat, sleep, repeat. That this is the majority. And the thing with telecommunication, because they are spreading only war. Everything we see and hear is only war. So with this knowledge, I want other novels from the Black Library universe. Maybe just a dude who goes to work who has to deal with his anxiety. I don't know. Just something like that. This opens so many doors, by the way. Maybe I'm not using the word correctly, but socio-economic criticism of the Imperium and how the commissar sees it, how the sergeant sees it, how the captain of the Kasrkin sees it. Very interesting stuff. I really did enjoy those parts. And that they're going into this Kasrkin. They are kin. And those are not the only kin on the planet, because we're not fighting the traditional Tau. Because the Tau also have an interest in the downed Valkyrie. So Valkyrie down, we have to send people. And we're not sending Pathfinders, we're going to send Crude, because they are kin. It is the perfect dark mirror to our Kasrkin. And of course, they're adaptable for the environment and so on and so on. So really, really good. And how they interact with each other. So the Crude as a group in itself. And when they meet in the first fighting scenes, of course. But however, the stuff which this planet has is aqua vitalis. The stuff in which the generals, the higher ups of the Imperium, are using to rejuvenate themselves. So this is not a spoiler, it's pretty basically the first chapter that this is mentioned. And this stuff is such of a high quality that there are basically no side effects and no one knows why. No one can harvest it, but the indigenous people can. And we get to learn how they're doing it, which is very well written. I did enjoy this part. And we get to learn more about the people in itself, not only their striking blue eyes. Usually, I don't like it when there is a third party involved. Of course, there are, again, other examples in which I really did like it, like in Astor Sabathiel's story with Awakenings, like in my last video, in which this was also very well done. A third party which is involved, but not really in the foreground, rather in the background. I do enjoy the subtle hints, and at first it was like, oh, okay, it's just the planet and it's acting this way. And then after a while it was like, huh, something is strange here. And the more you get to know of the planet, the more you get the feeling, okay, there is something else in here. And I don't want to spoil it because the reveal is so good. I will just say, this is a minor spoiler, I'm sorry. Mad scientist. This doesn't narrow it down to anything. This could be anyone. However, mad scientist. I love this. This is the Einstein quote with madness is defined in repeating something and expecting it to behave differently. It's not the exact quote, I'm paraphrasing right now, I'm sorry. However, also very well written character. I really enjoyed this. So this whole story is a little bit of Lawrence of Arabia, Dune, Space Odyssey. Yes, really, because there is someone basically like hell. And also the quote is in there just with a different name, in which I can't let you do that. Fantastic. I was So I was on my way to work, I parked my car, shut down the engine, and this phrase was on, and I laughed my whole off. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Maybe because I'm old and I love this movie. I love all three movies, by the way, but it was so good. So there is a little bit of horror in the background, and this is the person losing his mind, or did he already lose his mind? What is this? Let me call him hell right now, because of the AI in Space Odyssey. Oh, fascinating. Really, really good. Of course, this has some shortcomings. Even though it is excellently written, I really love the characters, so the majority of them, of course not every character is likable. However, the ending was a little bit, maybe it's just me, but I already knew what's going to happen at the end. Sadly. This was my only negative point, my only big negative point for this novel. And I don't want to drag this out with the minor stuff, because there is only really minor stuff. And the sun is really bright right now. Sorry for the lighting. So, yeah, as I've said, I really, really enjoyed this story. If it would be possible, I would have finished it in one day. However, sadly, that wasn't possible. And then the timeline, this is also after the Great Rift. They all know of Gilliman, so the Primarch is there. And do newcomers need to know more about the universe? I love that, again, in this case, I can say no, they don't need to know basically anything. Much of the stuff is explained in itself. It's not like in the old novels in which, oh, he's doing that because of this, and he's doing that because of this. It's more in a natural flow. And this is something I discovered in many Black Library publications over the last year, maybe years, in which stuff is explained in itself by doing things. And this is what I really enjoy, because I will talk about this problem at the end of the year in my best of 2022 Black Library publication video. But yeah, for newcomers and for veterans of the 40k universe. And before I forget, they are also talking about Cadia and how they are sick that everyone says Cadia stands instead of admitting that it's fallen or even broken. Heavy stuff for veterans of the 40k universe. But yeah, ultimately, this book is a solid 9 out of 10 deniers that Cadia has broken. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is fun. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!